Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Laws of Business Breakthroughs, hosted by Bimal Shah, the CEO and founder of Rajparth Achievers. How are you tonight, Bimal?
Awesome, Blanca. Thank you.
Wonderful. So, what is your Law of Business Breakthrough for tonight?
Doubling. We should all focus on doubling. Now, I'll tell you the biggest problem with business owners is, and I'll tell you true statistics, that 99.7% of all businesses are small business. And 80% of them fail even after being 15 years in the business. And there is one big problem of why they fail is they focus on linear growth. Linear growth means that they're focusing on 10%, 15%, 20%, 50%. That is inflation in business. If you focus on inflation growth, that what happen is you kind of become extinct after a while, or even after being a long time. But focusing on doubling and exponential growth, it helps you bypass everyone else. So I've written an entire book series solving the biggest problem in business, and that is doubling your business in 1 year. How to focus on exponential growth. So today, the entire conversation is about doubling, and they can learn about the entire book series on my link, bit.ly/Bimal books. I think, Blanca, your voice.
What's it going to take? I listen to you, I double my business. What actions are going to be required on my part? Can you give us a sneak preview into
Sure,
your
absolutely.
prescription?
So the very first book so it's a series of 13 books. Each book focuses on four chapters, 4 weeks. So it's a step by step. It asks you all the questions, provides you all the tools. It's like a system that you can use on a recurring basis. And the very first step that you need to take is think big. You need to build a very, very clear vision that's very detailed, very structured, very organized, and has multiple avenues. From the very get go, you shouldn't be just thinking about one revenue stream. You should be thinking about 7 revenue streams. Instead of just saying, okay, this is one way I can make money, you should think about what are all the different ways you can make money doing exactly what you do. And that is essential. That is the one thing I would say. Once you start thinking that way, you open up so many doors.
Wow, that is absolutely tremendous. So, how long is the process to double the business?
1 year. So
One.
now they could double the business sooner, because in every book I give like true stories of how people use the concepts in each of the books to double the business. So it may not take you a year. Even if you implement some of the ideas in the book, you may instantly double your business in a few months. Who knows? Some of these people have used some of the ideas, and I share some of the stories on how people have used the concepts that I provided in the book, and they have doubled in a quarter, and they've had their best quarter ever. So I train about 90-day leaps. We have spoken before on how to jump. So I train businesses how to jump every quarter, and once they're trained for 4 leaps, they can make jumps every quarter. So they can if they scan the QR code, it's like magic, because I keep on updating and putting more stuff on there until they tell me not to. so uh, that's the fastest way to get to
But
2x.
I mean, some people don't double their business their whole life. How can you do this in 1 year? What's the secret?
It's take your 2 fingers. You want to take your 2 fingers, put it right here. That's the secret. It's right in your head. It's right in your head.
The
And I
secrets lie in our brain, in our mind.
exactly.
Well, if that's the case, this is very achievable progress.
Absolutely. And that's the whole thing. People, I have seen people go from one seminar to one webinar to another to another to another, just to learn more and more and more and more. learning more and applying more. The people who apply more scale much faster than the people who are learn more. Because if you don't apply what you learn, you're far behind. So, think about a guy who's read 200 books, okay, versus a guy, and I'm sure that person is a genius, has, read a lot of books, but hasn't applied one thing of what he has learned in those 200 books, versus a guy who's read 10 books, but has applied every single thing he learned in those 10 books. That guy would be far ahead than the guy who's read 200 books.
Well, I mean, there's no question to be a successful entrepreneur, you do have to self-educate because in the beginning you don't have the capital to outsource every single task. So
That's not
obviously,
true. That's
it's not
not
true.
true.
All right,
So
tell me why.
So think about, we are living in an age where we can work with people in Philippines, in Singapore, in Tokyo, in Pakistan, in India, everywhere, right? We live in that world where we can get things done anywhere. You have a team overseas in India as well. So if people want to get things done, they can build a team on what their capital allows. So if somebody says, I want to double my business, but I'm on a shoestring budget, I'm a bootstrapper, well, then my book series is the best investment because you can buy it on Kindle for maybe $1 or $2, and for less than $20, you can double your business.
Well,
Now,
there
you
you have
tell
it.
me
I
you
mean,
don't have $20. If you tell me you don't have $20, or nobody has 20, or nobody has $2 to spare on how to learn to double your
if you
business,
don't have $20, I think you can find someone to lend it to you. That's a
exactly.
realistic goal. If anybody wants me to lend them $20, I'll give you a loan, interest free. All right, within reason, up to 10 people. But the bottom line is, so what you're saying is it can start off with reading the book for
Yeah, I
$20.
mean, $2. You can buy a book on Kindle for $2, right? I mean, in the first week of the launch, usually most books on Amazon, and with Amazon, Amazon sets the price. The author doesn't get to set the price, right? So within the first week of the launch, if you're buying within the first week, not wait until the book is out and all that, but you buy it within the first week of the launch, you're
Right.
buying it maybe 50, 60, 80% discount on the book. It's a no-brainer, for anybody. Hey, for little to nothing investment, I can get wisdom that I can apply and start doubling my business.
No, it sounds amazing. And that's the way to go. And we got to start doing these things. There's really no excuses. Start with reading. And tell us more about your formula for doubling.
So the formula for doubling, number one, is you have to think the easiest formula for the listeners. Instead of giving some acronyms or algorithms, I'll give the simplest example and simplest formula. Take everything, think, not do, but think 10x. If you think 10x, you go 2x. So whatever you're thinking about, for whether it's sales, whether it's number of customers, whether it's money per customer, whether it's, one product. And I'm not talking about expenses. That's the worst thing, to think 10x, that I want to spend 10 times more money. You want to think about all the other aspects of your business at 10x. How much money am I going, how many products am I going to develop, what I'm going to make per customer. When you multiply that 10x and think 10x, you don't have to make it real, but when you think that, you at least get to 2x.
I agree. You have to set aim high so that if that the minimum is still success.
Right. So, for example, let's say, and in your case, we've been discussing this, talking about Tim's, let's say you're making $500 per Tim and you want to make $5,000 per Tim per month. So that's 10 times, right? So now you have to say, okay, I have to deliver a $60,000 a year product. Um, and then, the $60,000 product would require a $60,000 dream come true experience.
Mm-hmm.
So we build a dream come true experience. So let's call your dream come true customer Joe. Just a simple John Doe.
I understand. I understand. Yeah, it's so important to magnify and to repeat also what is successful. But in that doubling your business book, what would you say? Um, what would you say is the number one ingredient to the doubling process?
So in the book, you specifically asked me in the book. So it's a high tech book. So each book comes with a webinar. So when you buy the book, you have a webinar attached to it. Whether you
Amazing.
buy a hard copy, or Kindle, whatever, you can get the link and you can watch the webinar and go through the questions, and it walks you step by step. So that's the
Wow.
number one ingredient, is that it combines today's technology resources and gives you books and resources. So they're getting me on video, they're getting the steps, they're getting my wisdom that's not in the book. So they're getting 10x more value with each book.
That's really unique. So you've done something different there. You've integrated the video webinar with the use of the book to maximize. It's almost like you're sitting on our shoulder while we're filling out the answers that the questions you're asking us in this book.
Right. It just doesn't have the questions. It also has the tools, the exercises, the true stories, and it has the QR code to get to specific resources, and it tells you what resource to use. So, and which is why I provide a guarantee that, hey, listen, if you use every step in the book, there's
Yeah.
absolutely no way that you wouldn't double.
Well, that's magnificent, and I'm truly happy about that. And I mean, you have had such a positive impact on my business as you've been my coach over the last year and a half. And it's really, I think a lot of what I've learned from you, Bamal, is a lot of it is the visualization exercises that you do create in business. Because if you set the specific intention to double to 10x and all the steps that you teach to get there and the goals to set, I mean, it's a process, but it's definitely been life changing for my business, and I'm really
Right, and they
grateful.
also get a free 30-day membership to the Pioneers community. I mean, the number one thing about growing and scaling is be in a
Mhm.
room full of people that are smarter than you. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right? So you want to be in a room full of people. So I get them into that room where there are a lot of other smart people, and they can get to the Pioneers community. Free membership if they buy the book. And in
That's
each
crazy.
book.
That's a no-brainer. You get a book, you get into a webinar, you get a membership into a pioneer program. And how, I mean, come on, this is a no-brainer. Who wouldn't buy
Yeah,
this book?
right. Somebody won't buy this book. It's it's like, okay, guy, you have got nothing to lose here. And on top of that, there's hundreds of ideas in books. So like, it's not just one idea to double in the book. There's plenty of idea, dozens of things and questions. So there's no way that even if you use one of those ideas, you would see a positive impact in your business.
So you are an incredible resource of books. Everyone, be sure to scan the QR code, purchase Bamal's book, Double Your Business in a Year. Check out Bamal's link tree, the 1 year breakthrough. I mean, it's an endless parade, an endless supply library of resources for us to build our business. And it does start with opening the links, reading, ordering the book, registering for the membership, and answering the questions that Bamal asks. So, what is your number one law on doubling your business, Bamal, today?
Ask questions. You make your questions bigger than your answers.
Ooh,
And if you think in a specific way, ask yourself what making you think that way. Where did that thought come from? Why do you believe that way? Where did that belief come from? Keep Ask your brain a ton of questions. We have so many cells and electricity in our brain that you have no idea.
well, I love. I mean, I can't even I can't even tell you how much you're always teaching us every week. 15 minutes is like 5 seconds. Everyone scan the QR code, visit Bamal's link tree, visit Bamal's website, buy the book. Clearly, it's the first step to doubling our business. Bamal Shah, CEO of Rajparth Achievers, thank you for hosting tonight, and we will see you next Tuesday at 6 o'clock, everybody.
Everybody become a pioneer and buy the books, Becoming a Pioneer.
All right. Have a great
Thank you.
night, and everybody stay safe. Thank you so
Thank you,
much for
Melissa.
watching.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Bamal.